Former Olympic champion Mary Lou Retton, once America's sweetheart and a symbol of triumph in the 1984 Summer Olympics, has found herself at the center of a very different kind of spotlight in 2025. Earlier this month, Retton was arrested in Marion County, West Virginia, for driving under the influence. According to court records, the 57-year-old was stopped on May 17 and subsequently charged with one count of driving under the influence of alcohol, controlled substances, or drugs. After the arrest, she was released on bond, having posted $1,500. This shocking turn of events adds another chapter to what has been a tumultuous period for the former gymnast. Just last year, she was the focus of national attention when her daughter publicly revealed that Retton was fighting for her life, battling what was described as a rare and aggressive form of pneumonia. At the time, she had no health insurance, which prompted a public fundraising effort that saw more than $450,000 donated to help cover her medical expenses. The emotional outpouring of support for Retton was overwhelming. Messages flooded social media, and donations poured in from fans, fellow athletes, and strangers moved by her story. Many remembered the iconic moment in 1984 when Retton captured the all-around gold medal at the Los Angeles Games, making history as the first American woman to do so. Her bright smile, dynamic performances, and indomitable spirit had made her a household name and a symbol of inspiration. But as support for Retton grew, so did questions. As weeks passed, the public and media began to probe more deeply into the details of her illness, her apparent lack of health insurance, and the eventual fate of the donations. Some asked how someone so famous, and at one point so financially secure, could be without basic healthcare coverage. Others wondered what exactly the funds were used for, and whether the leftover money had indeed been donated to charity as promised. In January 2024, Retton finally spoke publicly, sitting down for an emotional interview on NBC's Today Show. She appeared frail, with an oxygen tube in her nose, and recounted the harrowing details of her health crisis. At one point, she said, doctors were preparing to put her on life support. The experience had clearly left her shaken, both physically and emotionally. Retton's daughter, McKenna Kelly, also spoke during that time, explaining that her mother had been unable to obtain affordable health insurance due to her extensive medical history. Over the years, Retton has undergone more than 30 orthopedic surgeries, including 4 hip replacements. These pre-existing conditions, according to Kelly, had made it extremely difficult to find a policy she could afford. Eventually, Retton confirmed during the interview that she had finally been able to secure medical insurance. Her tone was one of gratitude but also resolve, as she spoke about the challenges of recovering not only from her illness but from the emotional and financial toll it had taken. She also expressed thanks to the public for their generosity and concern. The family stated that any remaining funds after her medical bills were settled would be donated to a charity of her choosing. However, in the months since, there has been no official follow-up or public disclosure about how much money was left, where it went, or what organization might have received the donation. This silence has only added to the skepticism surrounding the fundraiser and Retton's circumstances. The recent DUI charge further complicates public perception. For many, it is difficult to reconcile the image of the bubbly, determined teenager who once vaulted her way into Olympic glory with the one now facing serious legal and personal challenges. For others, it is a stark reminder of how unpredictable life can be, even for those who once seemed invincible. The arrest may also reignite broader conversations about the pressures placed on athletes, especially those who peak at a young age. Retton was just 16 years old when she became a national icon. The years that followed included commercial endorsements, motivational speaking tours, and various television appearances. But behind the scenes, like many former elite athletes, she may have been dealing with chronic pain, medical complications, and the psychological toll of fading fame. There is also a wider societal issue at play: how healthcare in America continues to be a struggle for millions, even those with fame and history-making accomplishments. Retton's case illustrates how even high-profile individuals can fall through the cracks of the system when pre-existing conditions and insufficient safety nets are involved. For her supporters, the recent developments are heartbreaking. Many still see her as a symbol of strength and perseverance, and they hope this latest chapter will not define her legacy. For her critics or those demanding more transparency, the DUI and the unresolved questions about the fundraiser have shifted the narrative. What remains clear is that Mary Lou Retton's story is no longer just about athletic greatness, it's about the long and sometimes painful road that follows. It's about resilience, but also about vulnerability. It's about a woman who once soared to the heights of Olympic gold and now finds herself grounded by personal and legal challenges. No one can take away what Retton achieved in 1984. Her performances still live in highlight reels and in the memories of those who watched her leap into history. But today, she stands in a much different place, confronting a very human struggle with health, accountability, and redemption. As the legal process unfolds, the public will be watching closely, not just because of curiosity or concern, but because her story resonates. It reminds people that behind every legend is a person. One who faces the same frailties, flaws, and hard choices as anyone else. Whether this latest chapter will be a turning point or a footnote remains to be seen. What's certain is that Mary Lou Retton, once the embodiment of youthful triumph, now walks a path filled with difficult questions and uncertain outcomes. The world will watch, once again, not for a perfect dismount, but perhaps for a human one.